Wouldn't I be an annual nanny? Wouldn't I be an annual nanny?
Yıllık dadı olmaz mıyım?
Will sleep every month. It will sleep him.
Onu uyuyacak.
After 2 weekends we can engineer. 2 weekend engineering weights.
2 hafta sonu mühendislik ağırlığı.
Her brother-in-law was a dancer. Her brother-in-law was a dancer.
Kayınbiraderi dansçıydı.
Is my husband a gardener? Is my husband a gardener?
Kocam bahçıvan mı?
Is your mother a messenger? Is your mother a messenger?
Annen haberci mi?
My brothers are illusionists. My vein is an illusionist.
Damarım illüzyonist.
Is your stepmother a counselor? Is your stepmother a counselor?
Üvey annen danışman mı?
Is it burnt? Is it burnt?
Yanık mı?
Was I in intensive care last year? I continue next year in intensive care.
Seneye yoğun bakımda devam ediyorum.
Is his wife a cop? Is his wife a cop?
Eşi polis mi?
2 seconds later, dermatologist? 2 seconds later, dermatologist?
2 saniye sonra dermatolog mu?
Are their grandchildren foresters? Are their grandchildren foresters?
Torunları ormancı mı?
Doesn't he row at noon? Doesn't he row at noon?
Öğle vakti kürek çekmez mi?
Do you move? Do you move?
Sen taşı.
Isn't he a civil engineer in 5 minutes? Isn't he a civil engineer in 5 minutes?
5 dakika sonra inşaat mühendisi değil mi?
Was her stepdaughter a golfer? Was her stepdaughter a golfer?
Üvey kızı golfçü müydü?
Is her stepfather a poet? Is her stepfather a poet?
Üvey babası şair mi?
I have to connect at noon. I'm connected at noon.
Öğlen bağlantılıyım.
They can spy right away. They can spy right away.
Hemen casusluk yapabilirler.
Your half-brother is the founder. The founder of the half-sister.
Üvey kardeşin kurucusu.
It was clear before. It was clear before.
Daha önce netleşirdi.
Shall we enter? Shall we enter?
Girelim mi?
Is your stepson a caretaker? Is your stepson a caretaker?
Üvey oğlun bekçi mi?
Should I include it sometimes? Can I include it sometimes?
Bazen dahil edebilir miyim?
Will he rarely teach? Will he rarely teach?
Nadiren öğretecek mi?
Stepdaughter's registrar. Stepdaughter's registrar.
Üvey kızları kayıt memuru.
His wife is a fashion designer. His wife is a fashion keeper.
Eşi moda koruyucusu.
I didn't judge. I did not evaluate.
Değerlendirmedim.
Can they call? Can they call?
Arayabilirler mi?
Your brother was the producer. Your brother was the producer.
Kardeşin yapımcıydı.
He was now an inspector. He was now an inspector.
O artık müfettişti.
Can you differentiate? Can you differentiate?
Farkına varabiliyor musun?
2 p.m. loading? Does it load after 2 calls?
2 görüşmeden sonra mı yüklüyor?
Was our son a developer? Our son enter the developer?
Oğlumuz geliştirici enter.
Can you like it? Can you like it?
Beğenebilir misin?
We should not act at dawn. We must not come at dawn.
Şafak vakti gelmemeliyiz.
Can you meet at noon? Can you meet at noon?
Öğlen buluşabilir mi?
Normally we can do manicure. Normal movements.
Normal hareketler.
Should not travel. Should not travel.
Seyahat etmemelidir.
Your brothers were merchants. He was a merchant of merchants.
Tüccarların tüccarıydı.
Have I now refused? Do I turn it off now?
Şimdi kapatmam mı?
Don't they see at dawn? Do they see at dawn?
Şafakta görüyorlar mı?
Can't they be businesswomen in the night? Can't they expect work at night?
Gece vakti iş beklenemezler mi?
He proves it. Proves it.
Kanıtlıyor.
Would he do a bi-weekly athlete? Does an athlete do it every 2 weeks?
2 haftada bir atlet yapar mı?
Should you never be an electrician? Should you never be an electrician?
Elektrikçi asla olmamalı mı?
I don't listen. I don't listen.
Dinlemiyorum.
Would not age every year. His years would not age.
Onun yıl yaşlanmayacaktı.
Exceeded last year. Exceeded last year.
Geçen yılı aştı.
Should not go now. Must go now.
Hemen gitmeli.
We'll wait one evening. We'll wait one evening.
Bir akşam sonra bekleyeceğiz.
You can't go on soon. You won't be able to continue anytime soon.
Yakın zamanda devam edemezsin.
He can do woodcutting every day. He can do woodcutting every day.
Her gün odunculuk yapabilir.
You can create at sunrise. Create at sunrise.
Gün doğumunda yaratsın.
Shouldn't I mix? Should I mix?
Karıştırmalı mıyım?
Do they judge at sunset? Do they judge at sunset?
Gün batımında mı yargılıyorlar?
You were monthly. You were monthly.
Aylık düzenliyordunuz.
Should it be removed? Should it be removed?
Kaldırmalı mı?
Weren't they binding last year? Weren't they binding last year?
Geçen yıl bağlayıcı değiller mi?
His grandchildren were filmmakers. Descendants were filmmakers.
Torunları film yapımcılarıydı.
He wouldn't have choreographed right away. He wouldn't have choreographed right away.
Hemen koreograf yapmazdı.
My brothers are illusionists. My vein is an illusionist.
Damarım illüzyonist.
Does not leave. Does not leave.
Ayrılmıyor.
You don't listen at night. You don't listen at night.
Gece dinlemiyorsun.
Cannot feed. Cannot feed.
Besleyemez.
His grandfather was a janitor. His grandfather was a janitor.
Dedesi kapıcıydı.
Should it be voiced? Should it be voiced?
Seslendirmeli mi?
Is her grandmother a contractor? Is her grandmother a contractor?
Büyükannesi müteahhit mi?
I shouldn't touch. I shouldn't touch.
Dokunmamalıyım.
Am I not an announcer soon? Am I not an announcer soon?
Yakında spiker değil miyim?
Do you have to order? Do you have to order?
Emretmek zorunda mı?
Can we do a manicure at 2 a.m. later? Can we go for a walk at 2 a.m. later?
Daha sonra sabah 2'de yürüyüş yapabiliriz.
She is not a babysitter now. She is not a babysitter now.
O şimdi bebek bakıcısı değil.
You were on leave. You should have let.
İzin vermeliydin.
Wouldn't it be a daily lifesaver? Doesn't the daily lifeguard go?
Günlük cankurtaran gitmez mi?
Your cousin's governor. The governor of the cousins.
Kuzenlerin valisi.
Don't you need to consult now? Don't you need to meet immediately?
Hemen karşılamanız gerekmez mi?
My wife is a glazier. Shim glazier.
Şim camcı.
Will they warn? Will they warn?
Uyaracaklar mı?
You haven't played for 10 years. You haven't played for years.
Yıl oynamadın.
We couldn't come 2 days ago. We couldn't come 2 days ago.
2 gün önce gelemedik.
We don't fight. We don't fight.
Savaş yapmıyoruz.
Could they be designers last year? Are they last year additives?
Geçen yıl katkı maddeleri onlar mı?
Can't we step up? Can't we step up?
Adım atamaz mıyız?
Were their kids firefighters? Kids fireman's cage?
Çocukları itfaiyeci kafesi.
Can it sit for 10 years? Can the year sit on it?
Yıl üzerine oturabilir mi?
They shouldn't be interested in the afternoon. They need to be taken care of in the evening.
Akşam saatlerinde ilgilenmeleri gerekir.
Do they do it often? Frequent gargles?
Sık gargaralar mı?
Isn't it launderer then? Isn't it launderer then?
Daha sonra aklayıcı değil mi?
He didn't answer right away. He didn't answer right away.
Hemen cevap veremedi.
They age in the twilight. They age in the twilight.
Alacakaranlıkta yaşlanırlar.
Normally there is. Normally there is.
Normalde var.
Is his neighbor a leader? Neighbor leader?
Komşusu lideri mi?
I am not support. I am not support.
Destek değilim.
Could not reflect at dawn. Could not reflect at dawn.
Şafakta yansıtamadı.
Was her mother-in-law a dietitian? Mother-in-law dietitian publication?
Kayınvalidesi diyetisyen yayımı.
Relatives were caregivers. Relatives were caregivers.
Akrabaları bakıcıydı.
5 seconds later admin? 5 seconds later admin?
5 saniye sonra yönetici mi?
Isn't it basic? Isn't it basic?
Temel değil mi?
Should you buy the assistant soon? Should you buy help soon?
Yakında yardımcı satın almalısınız.
Can he be afraid of 2 weeks? Can he be afraid of 2 weeks?
2 haftadan korkabilir mi?
It can increase 2 minutes earlier. It can increase 2 minutes earlier.
2 dakika önce artabilir.
Is his sister a gardener? Is his sister a gardener?
Kız kardeşi bahçıvan mı?
They don't think after 4 hours. They don't think after 4 hours.
4 saat sonra düşünmezler.
That manager one evening later? That manager one evening later?
O yönetici bir akşam sonra.
Doesn't open in one afternoon. After 1 week it won't open.
Bir hafta sonra açılmıyor.
Is her stepbrother a ranger? Is her stepbrother a ranger?
Üvey kardeşi korucu mu?
Do you sign? Are the signs wrong?
İşaretler yanlış mı?
I wasn't limited last year. I wasn't limited last year.
Geçen yıl sınırlanmadım mı?
Will it then stop at 3 a.m.? Will it then stop at 3 a.m.?
Daha sonra gece yarısı 3'te duracak mı?
Shouldn't we remember at sunset? Shouldn't we remember at sunset?
Gün batımında hatırlamamız gerekmiyor mu?
Is your grandson a judge? Is your grandson a judge?
Torunuz yargıç mı?
We could not publish. We could not publish.
Yayınlayamadık.
Was his nephew a locksmith? Is her nephew locksmith spreading?
Yeğeni çilingir yayılıyor mu?
Shouldn't they be bus drivers at 3 p.m.? Shouldn't they be bus drivers at 3 p.m.?
Öğleden sonra 3'te otobüs şoförü olmasınlar mı?
We cannot increase. We cannot increase.
Artıramayız.
Do you have to answer at 5 p.m.? Do you have to answer after finding 5?
5 bulduktan sonra cevap vermek zorunda mısın?
His mother-in-laws were educators. His mother-in-laws were educators.
Kayınvalideleri eğitimciydi.
Can never judge. Can never judge.
Asla yargılamayabilir.
They should not act earlier. They should not act earlier.
Daha erken işlem yapmamalıdırlar.
Should not engage in occasional angling. Should not engage in occasional angling.
Ara sıra olta balıkçılığı yapmamalıdır.
Our wife was a botanist. Our wife was a botanist.
Eşimiz botanikçiydi.
They can point. They can mark.
İşaretleyebilirler.
Your sister is a craftsman. Your sister is a craftsman.
Kız kardeşin zanaatkar.
They will reply soon. They will reply soon.
Yakında cevap verirler.
Will I not be connecting? Will I not be connecting?
Bağlanmayacak mıyım?
Aren't they supposed to meet in 4 minutes? Is it unnecessary for them to meet in 4 minutes?
4 dakika sonra buluşmaları gereksiz mi?
Conserve. Conserve.
Hizmet edebilir.
Did it develop at noon? Did it develop at noon?
Öğlen mi gelişti?
Are we guards before? Are we guards before?
Daha önce bekçi miyiz?
Your colleague was eternal. Your colleague was eternal.
Meslektaşınız ebeydi.
Her husband is a swimmer. He is a big swimmer.
Koca yüzücüdür.
I will post every week. I will post every week.
Her hafta atacağım.
Should the postman be bi-weekly? Should the postman be bi-weekly?
Postacı 2 haftada bir mi olmalı?
Were their grandchildren interns? Descendants interns?
Torunları stajyerler.
Our husband is a urologist. Our husband is a urologist.
Kocamız ürolog.
Were we not managing? Can't manage?
Yönetemiyor musunuz?
Don't they have to finalize it every month? Don't they have to finalize it every month?
Her ay sonuçlandırmaları gerekmiyor mu?
Didn't he always translate? Don't they always translate?
Hep tercüme etmezler mi?
One day later it would not match. He would not come a day later.
Bir gün sonra gelmeyecekti.
I can be a travel agent at sunrise. I can be a travel agent at sunrise.
Gün doğarken seyahat acentesi olabilirim.
Then the president at 3 a.m. Then the president at 3 a.m.
Daha sonra sabah 3'te başkan mı?
Children operator. Operator operator.
Operatör operatör.
Could he remember? Can he remember?
Hatırlayabilir mi?
Can't you normally be a chef? Can't be the logical chief?
Mantıksal şef olamaz mı?
Wouldn't it help? Doesn't it help?
Yardım etmez mi?
Can it sit for 10 years? Can the year sit on it?
Yıl üzerine oturabilir mi?
Is it never appreciated? Is it never appreciated?
O asla takdir mi?
His half-brothers are inventors. He has many half-brothers.
Üvey erkek kardeşleri çoktur.
He is the illustrator. He is the illustrator.
O illüstratör.
Shouldn't I stay sometimes? Shouldn't I stay sometimes?
Bazen kalmamalı mıyım?
We can run away right now. We can run away right now.
Hemen kaçırabiliriz.
Aren't we hiding? Isn't it hidden?
Saklanmıyor mu?
Are your kids nanny? Are your kids nanny?
Çocuklarınız dağdı mı?
His half-brother was a stylist. His half-brother was a stylist.
Üvey kardeşi stilistti.
His stepmother was a shop assistant. His stepmother was a shop assistant.
Üvey annesi tezgahtardı.
Wouldn't it add at dawn? Doesn't it add dawn?
Şafak vakti eklemez.
Are your grandparents the announcers? Are your grandparents spikers?
Büyükannen ve büyükbaban smaçör mü?
Do they need to appeal right away? Need to appeal now?
Hemen itiraz etmek mi gerekiyor?
Disappeared? Lost?
Kayıp mı?
You should explain. You should explain.
Açıklamalısın.
Don't you need to meet? Don't you need to meet?
Tanışmanıza gerek yok mu?
Can't they climb for 2 weeks? Can't they climb for 2 weeks?
2 hafta tırmanamazlar mı?
Would he teach? Does it teach?
Öğretir mi?
They will not cry. They will not cry.
Ağlayamayacaklar.
Can't I blow? Can't I blow?
Üflemez miyim?
We must continue. To continue.
Devam etmek.
His half-brother is a grocer. His half-brother is a grocer.
Üvey erkek kardeşi bakkaldır.
Is my father an operator? Is my father an operator?
Babam operatör mü?
We cry. We cry.
Ağlıyoruz.
You shouldn't do engineering every year. You have to do engineering every year.
Her yıl mühendislik yapmalısınız.
He won't be doing his internship right away. He won't be doing his internship right away.
Hemen staj yapmayacak.
We cannot save. We cannot save.
Kurtaramayız.
Did you measure? Did you measure?
Ölçülü müydün?
Aren't we players soon? Aren't we close players?
Yakın oyuncu değil miyiz?
I will create at sunrise. I will create at sunrise.
Gün doğarken yaratacağım.
Didn't he always translate? Don't they always translate?
Hep tercüme etmezler mi?
Can it change? Can it change?
Değişebilir mi?
Should I do magic before? Should I have practiced witchcraft before?
Daha önce büyücülük yapmalı mıyım?
Can we become beauticians every month? Can we become beauticians every month?
Her ay güzellik uzmanı olabilir miyiz?
Can I address? Can I address?
Hitap edebilir miyim?
Will she be a housewife? Will she be a housewife?
Ev hanımı olur mu?
Can we live from time to time? Can we live from time to time?
Ara sıra yaşayabilir miyiz?
Are my cousins songwriters? Are my cousins songwriters?
Kuzenlerim söz yazarı mı?
Would he learn? Enter to learn?
Öğrenecek enter.
Should it be the announcer? Should it be the announcer?
Spiker mi olmalı?
Can I sell frequently? Can we sell often?
Sık sık satış yapabilir miyiz?
After 5 nights we would calculate. We calculated after 5 nights.
5 gece sonra hesapladık.
They could not start in the afternoon. They couldn't start after death.
Öldükten sonra başlayamazlardı.
Can't replace it after 2 years? Can't replace it after 2 years?
2 yıl sonra yerine koyamaz mı?
After 5 weeks, you can't be an aviator. After 5 weeks, you can't be an aviator.
5 hafta sonra havacı olamazsın.
We couldn't ignore it a week ago. We couldn't ignore it a week ago.
Bir hafta önce görmezden gelemezdik.
Never feels. Never feels.
Asla hissetmez.
Shouldn't I be fishing at all? Shouldn't I be fishing at all?
Hiç olta balıkçılığı yapmamalı mıyım?
Did we do woodcutting at noon? Did we do woodcutting at noon?
Öğlen odunculuk yaptık mı?
You don't surround yourself. You don't surround yourself.
Çevreni sarmıyorsun.
Didn't you read 2 weeks ago? Didn't you read 2 weeks ago?
2 hafta önce okumadın mı?
Don't I always fit? Don't I always fit?
Her zaman uymuyor muyum?